Hello, good people. Welcome to our show. Hello, bad people. Welcome. Hello, everyone who want to learn more about SaaS. Welcome, because today we are going to discuss more about SEO, geo, AI search, many things that it's very important today to adopt, how to do it right. And especially we can touch more about link building and SaaS, because we have today Steven Schneider. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Happy to be here.
Yeah, big pleasure, big pleasure. I want to learn more about that. Especially I have my SaaS products, basically a few SaaS products we have it. Yeah, I have clients in on this niche. It's very important for us to get results, to get recognition, because many things are changing fast. We grew traffic for some projects, but for some projects we grew positions, but traffic dropped. So it's
Yeah.
our new reality. We need to adapt. But honestly, I don't care about traffic. I care about sales. If it brings sales, then it works. Steven, before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, about Trio SEO. What kind of help can you bring to your customers? I know you pay a lot of attention to link building. So, yeah, anything about that.
Yeah, so I'm owner of Trio SEO. We focus on SEO lead magnets and funnel systems backed by traditional SEO. So what that means is we have a proprietary system that uses tools like calculators, quizzes, and other kind of engagement vehicles per se to leverage traffic and pretty much convert it into revenue at an easier rate. So most of traditional SEO or more SEO strategies, especially in SaaS, are kind of just relying on book a demo CTAs or Calendly links and kind of all of the traditional CTAs. And what we do is we create custom tools that are tailored to your visitors so that they can have a frictionless way to engage with your brand. And then they get thrown into a nurture sequence with their information and contact information. And then your sales team can follow up from there. But yeah, it's kind of like a new secret sauce strategy that we've been developing for about a year, and it has crazy results. So that's kind of where
Wow.
our bread and butter is.
That's nice. That's nice. I think it's very important today to build tools, especially when we have AI. So I mean, like, it's not expensive like before, because AI can replace many things. I cooperate with some companies that can provide accounting services in the US. They cooperate with Fortune 500 big companies, and they use accounting. They create custom accounting tools, and I mean, like, a few years ago they said, oh, it's almost impossible, you need to have 10 millions, I mean, like, investment to get results there. But today with Claude, Grok, Chat GPT, they just create custom solutions. They use and many other models, Zapier, and they create real great results to replace humans. So, but it's reality. I think if you don't think how you can use AI in your process, your workflow, you have a big trouble, because someone who can use AI will replace you soon, because we have no choice on that. Steven, can you tell about your methods, how to write, to how to find the right tools in your content plan, and how you relate these tools to the bottom funnel?
Yeah, so the best tools that we've seen success with are calculators, especially calculators and quizzes. So what we do is we'll go after, say that we have a client in the tax industry. There are so many different calculators based on the niches of that. If it's SaaS, maybe it's like a calculator around the pricing of a certain product or pricing comparison. So what you'd want to do is go and find those keywords to begin with, and then from there on out, you can create the tool, create the engagement form of how people are engaging with the tool. On the back end, you can build the qualification logic such that if they answer in this format or these questions are coming in, then that says that they are, A level quality of a lead versus an F level quality of a lead. And I can direct them in this funnel versus that funnel. And then based on the answers, they're essentially sent a report, quote unquote, where that report is then sent to them. And on the back end, you collect their contact information. And so it's this really easy, like I said, frictionless way to exchange qualification information while also giving value and having to not feel like it's as salesy as saying, jump on a calendar, a calendar link, a 45-minute call or a demo, which really feels like, if it's cold traffic, nobody's really interested in that. They want to like learn more about the company, see if it's a good fit. They almost want to self-qualify in a way. So we try to erase that emotional fear and drive a bunch of traffic to these tools, which usually already have keyword research and demand behind them. and then supplement that with blog content and just funnel even more traffic there.
Yeah. Steven, let's talk about keyword research, because even before AI, before ChatGPT revolution, I mean, like, many experts started to use topical research. So basically they ignore keyword research. Today, when we have AI mode, AI overview, people started to ask long questions, because before that they couldn't. Google couldn't recognize the intent. Today, you can ask everything, long question, short question, you can get the right reply. In most cases, good reply. So what do you think about keyword research? You mentioned about keyword research, but I see when many experts switch from keyword research to topical research and entities. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's still a time and a place for keyword research. I mean, the AI SEO evolution is still evolving, and that's still going to take time to get where we need to go. But 80% of global traffic is still tied to Google, and so traditional keyword research from that point of view, big chunk of your priority. We still focus on GEO prompts for our clients as well, which you should be having as a small sliver of your strategy, but it shouldn't erase your entire keyword research strategy to begin with. So we obviously put a lot of time into that because there's inherent demand and all that sort of stuff. And then a lot of the prompts and secondary keywords that are more of those long tail, like conversational style keywords that you're mentioning, those just add even more value and more rich content to the pages and the content that we're creating.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, I want to get back to calculators that you built. And for example, I know that today you can find a bunch of different calculators, tools online. And even if you ask on ChatGPT, these tools can calculate a lot of data. Can you tell what kind of difference can you provide in your calculators to give a strong reason to AI search to reference your calculators and users to use it?
Yeah, so I mean, the main thing is that the tool itself is inherently valuable in not only SEO but AI SEO because it adds so much authority to your site when it's done correctly. So, part of the tool is you don't want to rush through it. It should be well thought out. You should be looking at other tools that are currently ranking, like what are the limiting factors of theirs? How should you meet them where they are? Do you have schema that you're adding to the tool, which should be specific to that? Are you indexing it? Are you doing internal linking? So all the core fundamentals are still there from a strategic standpoint of traditional SEO. And then the AI SEO, because the barrier to entry, per se, to create these tools is so high, you already have a leg up against your competitors because your competitors are not thinking in this mindset. They're thinking in traditional blog content, backlinks, everyone's doing the same thing in SEO. And so when you can't have a strategy that is more advanced, it's harder to implement, and it creates more leads and more value for your business on the back end, it's unmatched. And so from that point of view, AI SEO really favors that sort of strategy. And so does your company. So it's this win-win across the board that no one's really talking about or implementing except for us.
Yeah, got that. Okay, good statement, except of you. Anyway, okay. I have a question from about
Yeah.
AI tracking tools, and by the way, I like this question because I see different opinions. It's controversial. Some experts can say you don't need to track your keywords on AI. So a bunch of experts can say that because AI can personalize response to different users. So if you speak with ChatGPT often, for example, I can speak with ChatGPT more often than with my wife because I have a bunch of questions that my wife can't reply to me. So that's why I need to ask AI search about that. So I love to speak with Gemini. I like Claude. All these models, they are different, and I can get different replies. I use in different places, and that is why probably AI can understand what kind of intent I have, what kind of results I want to get. For example, it's interesting. My brother said to me when he can argue with his wife is going to ChatGPT and ask who is right to provide all this data, and all the time, ChatGPT can reply she is right all the time. He was not right
Smart.
even one time because ChatGPT can learn what kind of answer you want to get. So ChatGPT want to satisfy your intent, because if you're not satisfied, you go to other tools. So that is why I usually tell be unbiased, don't care about what I can think about that. I just need honest opinion. So that is why I think like someone can, like Donald Trump, for example, they can get replies from Fox News. Someone who can hate him can get from CNN. So it's quite controversial. And that is why some experts can say you don't need to use AI tracking tools. But other experts can say, no, you need to do it. It's better to have anything than nothing. So it's better to get some even inaccurate data because volume is also inaccurate. So what do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's all you take it with a grain of salt. It's a double-edged sword, and what I mean by that is it's part of it is evolving so quickly that it's almost hard to keep up with what's accurate and what's inaccurate, or what's the next best thing, and where's all the tools that you should be using, and what's coming out, et cetera, et cetera. So it feels like it's almost a full-time job to manage that sort of tracking perspective. We rely heavily just on Google Analytics. I think that's like very overlooked, just to see your inbound referral traffic coming from different LLM platforms. And that, in its sense, if you have key events set up in GA4, you should be able to track, all of that pretty effectively, which we set up with all of our tools. And so from that point forward, you're obviously looking at like, hey, is this thing tool, for example, ranking as it's supposed to, driving traffic as it's supposed to, and generating leads as it's supposed to. And so if all of that says yes, then the AI tracking tools and the prompts and that sort of stuff is somewhat of a distraction, in my opinion. Like, I look at it, I have an incentive to drive leads to my clients. And so if I'm doing that goal at the end of the day, a lot of the other stuff is helpful, but it's like more of a nice to have, not a must have. Like, I care about the core strategy coming to life and that core strategy driving revenue. So like I said, it's nice to have, but not a core must, I would say.
Okay. I have a bunch of questions about content creation. I mean, like, for many years, probably even a few decades, we created a lot of content related to blog content. So we wrote a bunch of guides, tutorials, articles. And I remember when I started in 2008, we just wrote some useless generic stuff. That was the reason, because we didn't have experience to write. We just wrote, and Google ranked well. We got great results. But when Panda, Penguin, many things changed since then. So of course we improved the quality. In 2019 we stopped cooperating with copywriters and started to search experts. For example, we promote trading finance niche. We are looking for people who can post on Investopedia, Forbes, Bloomberg, big websites. So because we need real experts. But when ChatGPT was released, many experts said AI generated content is useless, it's low quality, hallucination, many things. That was version 3.5. But today we have 5.2, we have Gemini 3.0. And I spoke with experts who can say, no, ChatGPT can write better than real big names, because ChatGPT can write in 1,000 different styles. You can ask everything in different languages, styles. So if you feed ChatGPT with the right data, you can get quality content. But I see when many people still check out AI detection. What do you think about that? Do we need to check out AI detection, or we can use AI to create content?
Yeah, all the above. I mean, it's a tricky conversation. We are a pretty firm human-written agency. That's our stance. Like, we don't use AI to write any content. We're old school in that sense. I think that AI, in the writing sense, it's a tool, and kind of similar to how you can give two people a hammer and the house that they build is going to look completely different. And so if you have the time and the quality ingrained to have a really, really well thought out article from ChatGPT, I have no doubt that it'll be really well written. And I think that on the other side, if you have a garbage in, garbage out mentality, then the article that you get is going to look like crap. And so I think that it's really just depends on how good you are prompting and how good you are editing and taking the time to get those results. But I think that typically, from what I've seen, if people are using ChatGPT to write content, they're in a very urgent state to create content. They're not looking at it from a quality point of view. They're more looking at it from a quantity point of view. So it is kind of like this damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of conversation around how to use AI content and how to do it well and also do it ethically. So yeah, I mean, I've seen people have good results. I've seen it also destroy websites. So for that reason, I'm out. Like I kind of just sit back. We do it by the book. I'd rather, kind of know that we are doing everything white hat and completely, in the same vein of what I would like to believe a strategy if it was my site. And that's kind of just the stance we take on that.
Yeah, I got it. I think, I mean, like, it depends on your writing background, because what I can see, for example, I remember when I gave the task to write content to big names in accounting, real big names, with plus 20 years of experience. They know everything about accounting, taxing, but they didn't have writing background. They just generated some useless stuff with ChatGPT that was boring to read. I remember when I spoke with Jim Edwards. So basically, he worked in Business Insider for 10 years. He started on this company from scratch. Company was sold for $500 million. And he told me that success of Business Insider depends on creating non-boring content. So it's a big issue. For example, if I open an article from Brian Dean, it's like plus 2,000 words, but I like to read because it's interesting to read. He knows how to win attention, how to retain until the end. But if people have no writing background, ChatGPT can't save that. So, but if you have writing background, if you know your topic, because for example, I can't create great content about weight loss. I can't because I'm not an expert on that. I can generate some useless stuff. But people who spend all time on this topic, health issue, diet, they can create real great content. So, and to be honest, my biggest results are coming from AI generated content. I got real great results with AI generated content. I love it. But it's only about SEO digital marketing. I can't get great results in other niches. That is why I cooperate with experts who know how to write to different niches. Steven, let's talk more. Let's talk more about link building. I know link building is probably your strong side. So and I know about Connor, so he posts a lot. So can you tell what kind of link building can we use today? Let me clarify more about that. So basically, for many years we used white hat SEO, skyscraper technique, broken link building, many things. But what I can see, the impact of these links decrease, probably in my side. I don't want to say about all niches, all cases, but in my side, first, it's really tough to get these backlinks without having connections. You can send a bunch of messages. I remember when I personalized like 150 messages, spent a lot of time to learn about recipients, trying to do everything. And my best results came like 2 backlinks from 150 messages, but that was not even close to the time that I can invest in other niches like video, anything like that. So can you tell which link building can work today from your perspective?
I think just good old-fashioned networking is severely underlooked. I think that if you just have a good network of people with good quality sites, like that's always going to be great. I also think that the tools that we create are very overlooked in creating authoritative natural backlinks. I think that the days of creating blog content that people link to and everyone's like, just create, great content. I think that that's kind of those days are long gone unless you are an authoritative person who has an active following and they're linking to it because they already have that inherent demand and that inherent interest and influence. But I think that that's where the shift is, and like those tools is because they get shared internally amongst communities. Like for example, if it's we have a couple Amazon agency clients, and if we're creating something like a Amazon fees calculator or a Amazon PPC cost calculator or any of the like, people within that community will find inherent value and they'll share it. And so that is where you can start to acquire just natural backlinks on top of, doing general outreach and kind of forming partnerships, over time. But I think that if you look at backlinks and link building as a relationship building vehicle, I think that that's where you can find the most upside in securing really, really high quality links that aren't farmed links that you can just get through any other kind of like spreadsheet list.
Yeah, it's interesting about this farm links. So I get every single day. I can count how many emails I can get about
Yeah,
link
me
building
too.
on on email, on LinkedIn, everywhere. People are saying we have high authoritative backlinks, very good backlinks. They will make weather for your website. So anything like that. And it's a pity, but even real big names on this niche, when I ask to share what they can do with these backlinks, they just resell the
Yeah.
same stuff. I don't want to name these people, so it's a business model. I don't want to criticize them, but even today, big names, big experts can resell all these backlinks. Steven, can you tell? Okay, for example, if I have a problem with my car, I don't know anything about engine. I just rely exactly to people who know how to fix this car. So, can you tell for someone who has website, they need backlinks, but how to find out who can help to provide backlinks that will move the needle?
Yeah, I think that, honesty is always the best policy. So if you're talking to somebody and you get this weird vibe that they're just kind of selling you on oh, this is great and like all this sort of stuff, I think that it's almost too good to be true. So trust your gut. If you're talking to somebody who will just tell you like it is and tell you the process and tell you exactly how they find links and what their own checklist is, they should like us, we have like a 16-point checklist that we run through when it comes to building links. And if they're not willing to share with you what they're looking at, which vets a good or bad link, that's kind of a red flag to me. So I would say that transparency is always going to be kind of like a plus in my book. So I would just ask a lot of questions, learn to ask the correct questions. And then from that point forward, you can kind of gauge, and kind of trust your gut on like, is this person legit? Maybe they can do like a few links at a discounted price for you if they needed to like show you the quality of the links they're building and kind of earn that trust. So yeah, I mean, there's different ways to go about it. I'd really just say like, kind of learn to meet the person and see where they're coming
Yeah.
from at the end of the day.
Okay, Steven, I have a bunch of questions about metrics that we check out for many years about the tag of links. For example, no follow, don't follow. We have many other tags, and even mentions can help a lot. I remember Shiraz posted a study that was surprise for me that mentions can build 3 times better results than actually links. So that means AI search can analyze the text and find real mentions, and it helps a lot. So I remember when we cooperated with one client that was trading niche, and we we use PR to distribute press releases about trending topics, and we got mention from CNN. My PR specialist said to me, it's first time for 16 years on her experience when CNN replied and when
Wow.
CNN actually put this mention. So when we share this mention to our client, look at CNN mention your brand, he replied, oh, it's not even the no follow link. It's not the follow. I replied,
Yeah.
sometimes you can't impact the CNN. Probably, I don't know how to impact CNN. Even Donald Trump doesn't know how to impact CNN. So, Steven, can you tell what do you think about all these metrics? Do follow, no follow, or just without any link?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, do follow has always been kind of the golden child of the standard for backlinks. But I think that as you kind of enter the conversation with those super authoritative websites like Forbes or CNN or Business Insider, it's very rare to get a do follow because they're protecting their brand at the end of the day. But that kind of comes off a trade. Like if you're getting that link from CNN, Google can absolutely understand that they are talking about you and this is a very authoritative space. And even though it is a no follow link, it's still going to help your brand long term by just getting that visibility and getting that inclusion within their authority. So, I mean, it's kind of you don't want a lot of those. Obviously, if it was always going to be that level of status, then great. But at the end of the day, if you're getting a variety of links and a diverse backlink profile, that's what you should be aiming for. That's what Google understands as quality at the end of the day. So I think that as long as you're kind of doing everything in your power to get links over here and links over there and of various authorities, then it will obviously work out in your favor.
Mhm. Uh, latest studies can show that it's very important to have fresh backlinks. I remember even John Mueller said about that. He said that it doesn't mean how many backlinks you have, because if you acquire them like many years ago, probably it might not give any sense. So doesn't make any sense. What do you think about that? How it's important to have fresh backlinks? And I just want to clarify a little bit. Basically, if you use skyscraper technique or broken link building, or any other strategy, link insertions, if you have great connections, you can get links from pages that exist, even with traffic, with loyal audience. But can these URLs, links can help to move the needle? What do you think?
I think that fresh links are always helpful as well, but I always kind of look at what is the URL rating or the UR rating of that page that you're getting the link from. If that individual page has strong authority, then you're in a good spot. Traffic on the site overall, and even better, traffic on a per page basis. So like if you're getting, a link within a fresh article on that site, it might take a little bit of time, but over a longer period, as that article starts to rank and kind of gains more authority, that link will then become stronger. If you're getting an insertion on, say, the top article, and that article gets 10,000 visits per month, like that's a very strong sign for a positive kind of transfer of authority. So, yeah, I think that kind of similar to content, your backlink strategy should be prioritizing fresh relevance per your site. So, if your entire backlink strategy was done, in a 1 year sprint, and then you stopped link building for 5 years and you haven't built any links since then, those links are probably not going to be as powerful as they were in that immediate time frame. Similar to content, if you publish content in 2023 and now it's 2026, like Google's probably deprioritized or deranked that article quite a bit. So I kind of look at it as just like your website and your brand should always remain relevant and fresh within your industry. And I think that keeping those sort of things top of mind is what kind of contributes towards success.
Got it. Got it. Steven, I know some big names don't use link building at all, but they used. For example, Neil Patel, I remember when he said that he used for a long time, but he stopped using link building because he built his name, and he can acquire new links naturally. I think many other big brands like SEMrush doesn't make links anymore because SEMrush has name and even was sold for almost $2 billion. Can you tell how to find this balance when you really need the backlinks, or when you don't?
Yeah, I don't know if there's an answer for that. I mean, I think that it really just depends on where do you feel like your resources within your own company are better spent. And so I have to look at SEMrush, or I have to look at Neil's, agency, and say, like, given that their agency could probably spend upwards of 10 to 50K per month on backlinks, what is the arbitrage or the trade of the kind of opportunity cost of that money spent on building backlinks, or in SEMrush's kind of point of view, developing their AI SEO SEMrush One? Like that's a much higher trade-off, especially from an enterprise value point of view, which is probably where their entire team is thinking about. It's like, you know, they're thinking about their exit leading up to that acquisition, and they're saying, what is going to get us the most enterprise value leading up to that exit? And is it going to be backlinks, or is it going to be leading the AI SEO charge and kind of trying to be the front runner in that conversation? And they're like, well, it's probably going to be the latter. So let's shift all of our focus and resources there. So I think it kind of, to your point, it's part about what is your authority in the space? Do you need this help? And also, where should you be focusing your efforts to get the best bang for your buck long term relative to your goals?
Yeah, yeah, nice. Steven, you are active on LinkedIn. Connor is active on LinkedIn. Can you tell about this channel, how it works for your agency, how it can help to acquire customers, and why you are consistent here?
Yeah, I've been posting on LinkedIn almost every day for about 3 years now. I started out just because it felt like it was the right place, right time, when it was much easier to get organic reach. I remember posting and reposting someone's content, and it had like 100,000 impressions. And I was just blown away by that. Yeah, I've just have seen it be very valuable for networking. I think that's like probably unmatched, probably the best upside there. Podcasting, meeting people, meeting friends, going to conferences, like all of that has stirred up business. I also met Connor through LinkedIn, just randomly through networking. And obviously that led to us creating Trio SEO with our other partner, Nathan. So, I mean, there's just like so much opportunity when you put yourself out there and start having conversations with strangers. I mean, you and I, never knew each other before about a month ago, and now we're here having a great conversation. So, I just fully believe in the power of, creating content, creating a personal brand, and starting to network with as many people as possible.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I like LinkedIn. I like to spend time. I can't get the same organic reach that Connor has, but I enjoy this time. Okay,
Yeah.
Steven, I have some people in my audience. I never expected that I can acquire these people, but youngsters who wanna join this niche, and of course, people have some doubts about the future. We still have a lot of questions if SEO is that, what will be next. So and the main problem what we can see today, that it's tough for newcomers to find a job because many big companies are looking for AI agents to replace just these manual tasks. For example, even in my company, yeah, we laid off to people because when ChatGPT was released, we said, guys, learn AI, find the way how to automate the process. You need, we can't compete with machines. But when we created some AI agents who can replace them, sorry guys, you had the chance, I mean, like, to build these things. What we can see in the US, 65,000 people were laid off by big companies like Microsoft, IBM, and it's really tough to join these companies. Only smart people can do it. But if AI can replace them, and yeah, 4% of people in Microsoft lost jobs to AI because AI can replace them. So basically, the main questions from newcomers: how to join today this niche if nobody wants to hire you? Your advice.
Yeah, I'm such a big advocate of entrepreneurship. And I think that people who are entering the workforce are not experienced enough, but also have unrealistic expectations around being on the chopping block relative to their skill set. And so, what I mean by that is that if you're fresh out of college and you're coming into a new job, you don't have experience. You don't have, you know, all of the other portfolio work that someone else ahead of you might. And that's probably why you feel uncertain around layoffs or AI taking your job and all this sort of stuff, which is unfortunate. But to the same degree, like the person who has a portfolio of websites or small businesses on the side, whatever it is, and they're looking for that work, they're going to automatically stand out because they have experience that you don't. And so, like, for example, like when I was in college, when I was learning SEO, I started building websites in college and started like making money in college. And that essentially evolved into my career and started, I had a portfolio of about 40 sites and like grew that to 7 figures ARR with my previous business partners. But when that kind of fizzled out and I went to go into the workforce, I had this crazy wealth of experience that put me ahead of just the standard college graduate who was coming off of the last corporate gig. So I think that when you look at yourself versus others, you have to find that unique differentiator. And if you don't have that and you're not willing to put in the time to evolve your skill set or grow a portfolio, then you should be, a little bit
Yeah.
fearful because that's just, you don't stand out.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. I remember when we were looking for someone who can market Instagram for one specific niche. And
Mhm.
we got a bunch of candidates who came to us with certificates, some
Yeah.
courses, passes, and one girl came without anything, but she showed a few Instagram accounts that she promoted herself.
Yep.
So basically, I don't care about your degree. I don't care
Yeah.
about
100%.
knowledge. For me, college is obsolete. I mean, like even Google today, 60% of people on Google don't have high degree. That means
Yeah.
if you make your hands dirty, if you implement, execute, so we have a bunch of knowledge. If you don't know what to do, just open ChatGPT, YouTube, Google. You can learn insights. Just learn and implement. Execution is
Yeah.
key, so you can find a way. Yeah, I agree with that. Steven, my final question, very important question for my audience about the future of SEO. So, of course, it's tough to forecast the future. We'll see if you're right or wrong for a while when it happens. Because, for example, all my forecasts failed when I thought who can become the next American president, what kind of price of Bitcoin will be. So, I remember when I got a friend who came to me like 10 years ago. He asked me, "Do you want to buy Bitcoin? It will be future money. You can take 1,000 bitcoins." I replied, "No, I don't know what is it.
Oh
Why
my
you asking
gosh,
me to
yeah.
buy? I don't know what is it. It's the future money. Believe me. Okay, take just 100 bitcoins." I denied, So basically, yeah, I'm terrible with forecast, but I usually adapt. Whatever happens, I adapt. I'm on the second stage. I can't create Google, ChatGPT, Bitcoin, but I can adapt to whatever happens. Steven, can you forecast, even if it's inaccurate, your vision about the future in SEO?
Yeah, I think it's going to be very hard. I think it's going to be harder than ever, especially once ChatGPT starts growing their platform even more. And things like Perplexity and Gemini and all these other LLM platforms are giving people zero reason to leave and go to Google. I think that Google is quickly shooting itself in the foot and giving it a worse user experience. And they're kind of prioritizing ad revenue over user experience at the end of the day, which is unfortunate to see. But in terms of like the future of SEO, obviously AI SEO and LLM GEO is going to be very prevalent once there's some sort of like repeatable, predictable recipe around how to do that. I think a lot of it right now is just backed on traditional SEO kind of being 80% of the work to get there, and everyone's still kind of guessing. I also think that the tools, kind of like similar to the lead magnet systems that we're developing, are the future. No one's doing that. No one's talking about it. But there is this massive disconnect in SEOs who are very good at driving traffic and can double traffic or 3x traffic without any questions. But there's always a conversation with that traffic increase that says, how does this tie to revenue? And how does this tie into more leads for my business? And so if you can't answer that question, you're going to get the axe and you're done. So I think that finding unique ways like these lead magnets to bridge that gap and create a system that's repeatable for people to tap into their traffic and convert that traffic into revenue is a very, very forward-thinking thing that I haven't seen anybody do. So I think that if you can think about ways to continue advancing strategies and learn really hard skill sets, like you are going to be in front of everyone else who is just kind of like left doing the same thing over and over again, spinning their wheels.
Nice. Love it. Steven, it's a big pleasure to get on my show, to learn from you.
Likewise.
I love this experience. Very enjoyable. Tell the best way how to keep learning from you, how to reach out to you, how to follow you.
You can reach me on LinkedIn. I'm super active there. Steven Schneider. You can also just find me on, trioseo.com. One way or another, if you are looking for me, you will find me. I always love meeting people. Reach out to ask about the lead magnet system. I also have a free ebook that's coming out soon, which you can grab.
Wow.
Would love to share with you.
Of course, yeah. Share with me. I will share with my audience as well. So yeah, guys, I recommend to anyone to follow Steven. You can follow Connor as well, because you can see a lot of value. It's very important to adapt. Whatever happens, you need to adapt, to execute, to try things. Don't scare to fail. I failed a lot, many terrible mistakes, but it's part of the process. You can't find the right way to go. If you use just generic stuff, you need to craft them, to improve. So I will put the link to Steven LinkedIn in the description below. Please don't reach out to him that you want to sell link building.
Yes.
No. Just propose something valuable and let him know that he found him on this podcast. Okay, guys, love you. See you.